quickly of Claim Links. Tom, how are you? And we've been talking more and more just about the business owner. But today we're going to kind of peel the layer back and say, what if I'm an individual? And, I could be in the digital world and I'm saying to myself, you know what, I'm a self-employed and I just am paying, I just don't even think I can afford health care. And I'm like, no way, it's not even worth it. That's why they got to contact Claim Links, right?
They've been misinformed.
And
And
what?
yes, they should, but they've been misinformed. I got a couple great stories that have happened up here in the last week in the mountains of New Hampshire and Maine. Scary, spooky.
All right, so tell me about why individuals, just an individual, and kind of Tom. Before we even get into this
All
topic
right,
further,
so
yeah, before I'll let you go with your train of thought
all right,
first. Go ahead.
so the misnomer everyone has is that you go on to these state exchanges or the federal exchange and buy your plans. You're buying Obamacare. What they don't get is the Obamacare, also known as the Affordable Care Act, in case people don't know that one. They it's the law of the land, so all insurance plans for that group or individual all have to conform to the Affordable Care Act. So that's just a bunch of silliness. So when they say, well, I don't want to be on Obamacare, well, you already are. So, it's like good stuff.
Right, it's good stuff. See, this is where I want to dive deeper
It's
because
like,
I mean,
it's
I was
like,
shocked. I was shocked, Tom, when you showed me. I said, "Well, why should I pay for healthcare? It's better just pay out of pocket." One of my mentors told me, "Dude, I don't carry healthcare. I just care. I just wait. And you gotta have healthcare." And he says, "I don't carry healthcare." And I said, "Because it's too expensive. I'll just pay everything out of pocket to all the doctors."
all right,
Well, that's where you have to have at least really emergency health care. And after that, you think you're going to pay so much money to
uh,
go to the Affordable Care Act. But that's why you work with Claim Links because they have the knowledge of kind of maneuvering around it based on what your certain situation is.
well, we charge $110 if we get you a health plan. One time, if you need us each year, it's 110. Your accountant charges you a lot more to do your personal return, even H&R Block. Even the guy who, works at H&R or Block or, some of these, fast tax services that I was drinking happy hour with an hour before, and they get more money than 110. So anyways, the health insurance, individual plans, however, um, all you're looking for is you want to buy the cheapest, it's all math, cheapest bronze plan that you can buy. You want to set up your own health savings account. So the money that you put in there is tax free, tax write off, and it comes out tax free for eligible medical and dental and vision. Second thing you do is why not buy a supplemental plan to take away some of the risk if that concerns you, the higher deductibles. Third thing is you may be eligible for tax subsidies that may lower your deductibles or they may make your premium much lower. Fourth thing is you have grants at hospitals that will pay for your deductibles or disease grants. There's all kinds of grants available that people don't know about. Give you an example. Last week, I'm sitting having lunch with a friend of mine, another golf buddy, and he's paying $2,300 a month for his family. His wife's retired school teacher. He's a carpenter. And he's showing like 80,000 bucks, and his son's not on their tax return. He's in his early 20s and he's got his own landscape biz. And he doesn't show much money, he's just starting out. So I showed him his premium zero, and he qualifies for the silver plan, which made his deductible zero also. The second thing I did is I showed them they buy a bronze plan, and at 80,000, 90,000, the income, their premium went down to 350 bucks a month. So they went from 2,300 to 350.
It's unreal. But
twenty-four
here's the
thousand
thing, but
dollars.
you're like an accountant, okay? An accountant in the health world. An accountant is going to figure out those loopholes and the way to do it, which would take an average person to go online and say, I give up after 5 seconds. That's why you need to call Claim Links.
Yeah,
Is
but
the
yeah, exactly. I'm helping people, but I went to college initially to be an accountant, but they don't have fun on Friday nights, so I needed a new hobby.
but explain that. I mean, the expertise that the people here at Claim Links is able to do is they're able to cut out a lot of the time that would take you a long time to figure that out and go through all the numbers and everything where you already have a calculator. You
Well,
already
and
know
I forgot at
specifics.
one point the kid had broken his arm and had to have surgery, and he owed like $5,000 on their existing health plan. And I said, he's not showing any income. He qualifies for their grant, so he doesn't owe anything. So I saved him 5,000 on the bill.
And then all these other supplementals too for individuals. See, there's
Yeah,
the
like
they
he needs an accident and disability plan. He has a few employees, so he literally could get a disability plan, a small one for his group. Goes down to 2 or 3 people. Mhm.
and
Much
that's
better price.
that's a simple thing. So if you're an individual, even a smaller business,
Mhm.
Claim Links can help. But you're right. You go to H&R Block, you're going to pay $200, $300, and they're not going to save you any money. You might as
Well,
well
and
you try
no,
to go ahead. What were we going to say?
like I said, they're in Maine. They're either smoking weed or at the happy hour before they go to work.
So that's
Edibles are real in Maine.
oh, okay. Well, Tom, that's for another conversation. So, when an individual, I'm going to tell my story. I literally just gave you some numbers, boom, and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's what I pay." Okay, deal. And he says, and you were like, what do you want to pay more on, deductible or pay on the other if you are practically not going to spend a ton on your deductible? How much do you really spend on healthcare every year?
Mhm.
Hardly anything because I'm healthy. Okay, then go focus more on what your premium is versus your deductible at the end of the day, right?
But if you
Explain
look
that.
at in the health savings account, take the difference, throw it in your own health savings account. If you don't use it, it's your money, becomes a retirement account. If you don't use it on eligible medical, and it's a gift. And the other big one they all miss is the yeah, disability and accident. You know, it, I meet people who say, "Hey, I'm good for a year." Great, buy a disability plan that starts after a year. Help buy your catastrophic health insurance. I mean, if you don't need disability for a year, do you really need to worry about a $5,000 or $6,000 out of pocket? No. But why not make it tax free by using a health savings account?
Right. And you teach at Claim Links how to use that HSA. So when an individual comes, they're getting that consult to save them money. You pay the money, but you're going to provide so much more value that in the tax attorneys or anybody that you're dealing with at Claim Links.
Well, my favorite one is the retirees, people who are saying, I can't retire because I need the health insurance. And I sit there and I go, let's look at the Affordable Care Act. If you're not working and you have money in a Roth IRA or a whole life or a variable life or index life, whatever flavor you have, and you can layer your investments to show very little between the ages of 58, 65. Guess what? You get
Yeah.
your health insurance at no cost and you get the zero deductible because nowhere in the law does it say it doesn't matter if you have 5 million sitting in a 401k and your house is paid off. All they care about is what's your tax return going to show in 2025. Or you
That's
just bought, you're a business owner and you just bought some new equipment and you write it all off, so you show no income for this year. You get a zero premium.
totally.
But they miss this, they don't get it, so they're buying this, they think they gotta buy Cobra or stay on the group or keep working and then
Yeah. Yeah.
retire.
How much does Cobra cost usually?
Well, it depends, it's 2% more than what the the company's paying total. So the employee plus the employer times 1.02.
That's
So
nuts.
most people are like the couple I met with, they're paying 2,300. And they're like, this is insane. And I'm like, of course it's insane. Who would do this?
So that's how much companies are paying then. So if you
Yeah, they're
explain,
being,
so
oh, they're just being holes.
I mean, that's terrible. So I always hear the word Cobra and I run.
It has nothing to do, if the companies with our solution, the major medical, if they're buying a group the way they should, their Cobra rates are cheaper than what they can usually buy unless they qualify for subsidies. The problem is that they all qualify for these subsidies so they're mixing the boat. So if you're not working, so you want to take 6 months off after you get laid off or you quit, whatever the sad story is. What happens is you literally 6 months, you can go on, get subsidies, pay nothing for your health insurance or pay $50 a month.
That's crazy. And that's the thing, but it depends on that process. So if you're an individual and you want to retire, if you're an individual, and all these different things, you look at these things. Tom from ClaimLinks will help you or his team and go to claimlinks.com. Tom, every day I learn something new. And we could break down 1,000 topics just on one thing alone that is not out there. Healthcare is it one of the reasons why most people work is healthcare?
It's the ones towards the end of their careers who could be retired because they have a million sitting in their 401k or pensions. And the reason they're sticking around is because they think their health insurance costs are outrageous if they quit. See, the financial planners are missing the boat. They should be teaching that. They should be paying me money to speak for them, to think of all the people who retire early, and then they can roll the 401ks into various other products and they can make a fortune off of me.
Oh, that's why they
But
need. That's maybe a topic for us down the line. Financial planners, why should they be friends with Tom and ClaimLinks?
maybe.
Because it will show up, especially on LinkedIn or Google or A1. So go to claimlinks.com,
Well, the
schedule.
supplemental agents should be buddies with me too.
Oh, 100%. I was just hearing about this one company and Tom, and just my brain starts just working when we talk about those things. But I will talk again, this one company that's doing a supplemental plan that's going to save X, Y, and Z. One guy wants to go sell for them. And I'm like, dude, go sell for Tom instead. It's a no freaking brainer. When you get in front of a business, you want a little check or a big check. That's why you got to go to contact
Well,
claimlinks.
they allow their HR and their office managers to run the old agent and ask them what they think about a program that's going to save them hundreds of thousands. I have it happening twice right now to two larger companies. One's going to save over 2 million, the other one's saving over $1 million. And I start laughing. I'm like, so the agent who loses money you went to,
Exactly.
no offense, I would fire them both the moment that happened.
All right. Well, thanks again, Tom. Appreciate it, sir.